Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello guys, my name is Risma Fitri and I'm from 5E class of English Education Department State University of Sultan Syarif Kasim. So, in this video, I wanna speak and I wanna explain about narrative research design in the course Research and Development in English Language Teaching. So, I hope you enjoy it and I hope you get the point from my explanation. So, let's get to the video. Narrative research design. From this chapter, I believe that you will be able to describe narrative research, explain when the narrative research be used and how it will be developed. Identify the types of narrative design. Describe the main characteristic of the narrative design. Understand the steps involved in conducting narrative research. And list the criteria for evaluating a narrative study. So, we come to the first point, definition of narrative research design, when it used and how it developed. Narrative research has emerged as a popular form of qualitative research. It has become a valuable way to study teachers, students, and educators in educational setting. In narrative research design, researchers describe the life of individuals, collect and tell stories about people's life, and write narrative of individual experience. As a distinct form of qualitative research, a narrative typically focuses on studying a single person, carrying data touch the collection of stories, reporting individual experience, and discussing the meaning of those experience for individual. There's qualitative studies focus on identifying the experience of a single individual or several individuals and understanding their past, present, and the future experience. You use narrative research when you have individuals willing to tell their stories and you want to report their stories. Researchers use narrative research design when individuals are willing to provide their stories when their stories follow a chronology. The second point is the types of narrative research design. The first is autobiography. In an autobiography, the individual who is the subject of the study writes the account. Although not a popular approach, you can find reports of autobiographical account of teachers as a professional. The second is biography. A biography is a form of narrative study in which the researchers write and record the experience of another person's life. Typically, researchers construct biographies from record and archive, although researchers sometimes use other sources of information, such as interview and photographers. The third is life history. A life history is a narrative story of the entire life experience of a person. Life history focuses on an episode or a single event in the individual life. And the last is personal experience story. A personal experience story is a narrative story of an individual personal experience found in a single or multiple episode, private situation, or communal folklore. The personal experience story to be both personal and social and convey this stage as an essence of the experience reported about teachers and teaching in school. The third point is the key characteristic of narrative design. The first is individual experience. In individual experience, researchers focus on understanding individual history or past experience and how it contributes to present and future experience. The second is chronology. The third point is the key characteristic of narrative design. The first is individual experience. In individual experience, researchers focus on understanding individual history or past experience and how it contributes to present and future experience. The second is chronology of the experience. Researchers analyze and write about individual life using a time sequence or chronology of events. The third is collecting individual stories. Collecting individual stories means a first-person oral telling or retelling of an individual. The fourth is restoring. In the restoring, the process in which the researchers getting stories, analyze them for the key elements of the stories, for example, time, place, plot, skin, and etc., and then rewrite the story to place it in a chronological sequence. The fifth is coding for themes. In the coding for themes into the page about the individual stories or include them as a separate section in a study. The next is content or setting. And the last is collaborating with participants. Fourth is step in conducting a narrative study. The steps in conducting a narrative study are to identify a problem suited for narrative research and to select one or more participants to study. Researchers then collect stories from the participant about his or her life experience and retell to the story to form a chronology of events that may include the characters, setting, problem, action, and resolution. Throughout this process, collaborating occurs with the participant, and the story composed by the researchers tells of the participant life experience. And the last is evaluating a narrative study. A good narrative study reports the story of lived experience of an individual, organize them into a chronology, situate them within the setting or the context. They reference several times than the story addressed and demonstrated a close collaborating in the narrative project between the researchers and the participants. So guys, I think enough for my presentation. I hope you get the point of my presentation and thank you for watching and see you next time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh guys.